Welcome to Just Truth, Episode 5, Transforming Everyday Life. So far, we've explored some deep and possibly challenging ideas. Non-duality, the illusion of separation, Maya, dependent arising, and emptiness. These teachings may seem abstract, but today we're going to look at how they can transform your real everyday life. You may still be wondering, what do these big concepts have to do with my day-to-day reality? Let's revisit the ideas of separation, as everything we discuss today flows from this concept. Most of us live under the persistent belief that we are distinct, independent individuals, separate from nature, from other people, and even from life itself. This is the story we've been told since childhood. I am over here, you are over there, the world is something outside of me, something I must control, navigate, or protect myself against. But non-duality invites us to look more closely and see that this sense of separation is a kind of mirage, like a habit of mind, a conditioning lens through which we view the world. It's the illusion that we are fundamentally disconnected from everything around us, when in truth we are life itself, unfolding moment to moment. So how does this understanding shift how we live? Imagine for a moment that every decision you make, every interaction you have, is not the result of an isolated, independent self, but the natural movement of an interconnected whole. Like a wave rising and falling in the ocean, not separate from the ocean, but made of it. When you begin to see through the illusion of separation, something shifts at the very heart of your experience. The anxiety, defensiveness, and striving that come from feeling like a separate self begins to soften. Life stops being something you have to conquer or protect yourself from, and instead becomes something you can meet with openness, flexibility, and even joy. Let's look at some very practical ways this realization can transform how you live. First, relationships from transaction to compassion. Second, work and creativity from striving to flow. Third, emotions from identification to observation. And fourth, uncertainty from fear to freedom. Relationships from transaction to compassion. In relationships, the illusion of separation often shows up in our need to be validated, loved, or right. We cling to the idea that our happiness depends on how others treat us, or how well they understand us. But when you begin to see that every person you meet is not a separate, fixed individual, but a living expression of the same flow of life you are, something shifts. Instead of seeing others as obstacles or sources of approval, you begin to meet them with understanding. You realize that their words, actions, and emotions are not entirely theirs. They arise from countless causes, conditions, and histories, just like your own. When you really feel that, compassion arises naturally. Work and creativity from striving to flow. At work or in any creative pursuit, many of us feel a constant undercurrent of pressure to prove ourselves, to succeed, to be someone. This is the illusion of separation at play. The belief that you are a solitary actor carrying the full burden of success or failure. But when you understand dependent arising, that everything you do is shaped by conditions far beyond your control, you begin to relax. You realize that your role is simply to participate, to show up fully in the dance of life without the weight of a separate identity to protect. Challenges stop feeling so personal. Failures stop feeling like reflections of your worth. Instead, you are free to create, collaborate, and contribute with lightness and flexibility. Emotions, from identification to observation. The illusion of separation also traps us inside our own thoughts and emotions. We believe, I am angry, I am anxious, I am sad, as if these states define who we are. Non-duality reveals something much gentler. Emotions are simply passing waves within the ocean of awareness. They arise, peak, and dissolve, not because you are flawed, but because that's the nature of experience itself. So when you're caught in a strong emotion, try this. Pause, breathe, observe it as you would a cloud passing in the sky. Notice how it changes without effort on your part. This simple act loosens the grip of identification and returns you to the spaciousness of awareness itself. Uncertainty, from fear to freedom. Finally, non-duality invites us to embrace uncertainty. The illusion of separation makes us crave control. We want life to fit our expectations, to bend to our will. But life doesn't work that way. It's an ever-shifting, interconnected web of causes, conditions, and appearances. When you realize there is no isolated you separate from that flow, uncertainty becomes less threatening. You can lean into life as it is, without the exhausting need to secure, protect, or control every outcome. In that letting go, there's a profound freedom. When you live from this understanding, even in small ways, everyday life transforms. The ordinary becomes luminous. Relationships soften. Work feels lighter. Emotions lose their grip. You stop fighting reality and start flowing with it. Non-duality isn't about withdrawing from the world. It's about finally seeing the world as it really is. Seamless, interconnected, and alive. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of how non-duality transforms everyday life. In our next episode, we'll address some of the most common questions and misunderstandings about these teachings and how to apply them when life feels messy or confusing. If today's episode resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your reflections in the comments below. Remember, truth isn't something you find out there. It's something you wake up to, right here, in the heart of your own experience. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.